one sentence, how would I describe today? I'd describe today eventful, information-packed, and beneficial.
Guys, this is our last panel that we're going to be doing, and I thought it was really prevalent to finish off on this because I think there's a lot of takeaways that we can hear of benefits throughout this entire experience. But how do we get it implemented, right? And especially when it comes to technician video. I've worked closely with all three of these locations. We've worked over the years to implement this process, and so my biggest thing is I want to pick their brains so that you guys can learn what challenges they've seen trying to put in technician videos. And I also want to throw out, even though this is the video panel, let's not forget photos. And I know we've talked about this. And before we jump in, I'll give a big statistic. I have challenged our OEM partners time and time again. Videos are important, but don't forget about the combination of videos and photos. Statistically, we've tracked the numbers over the years, and if you're looking at dollars per repair order in return, the combination of a video and a photo is much higher than just taking video. I had somebody tell me that I coined the term video whipped because I used it in one of our podcasts. We used to say technicians would go to an MPI and they just strike a line and they whip through their MPI, right? They pencil whip the MPI. Well, now they're video whipping the MPIs. Because if you as a manager are holding them accountable to just taking videos, well, guess what? Great, I took a 3-second video. Are you tracking that? Because my report says I took a video. So going a little bit deeper there. So first question I'm going to ask these guys, first off, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves and want you to go to answer the question if you don't mind. But the first question I'll ask is, when you first implemented videos, what was your biggest challenge you ran into and how did you overcome it initially? So start with you.
Hello, my name's Scott from Diamond Valley Honda. Been in the industry a long time. We used pencils when I started. CSI hadn't been invented yet either. So, but I think the problem with videos is your knee-jerk reaction is to get everybody to go do it. And then you wake up and say, I'm not getting any results, and then you start looking at the videos and you understand. So I think the lesson learned for us is the biggest mistake not to make is go in unprepared. Go in with a script, go in with a routine, go in with a way to measure it when you're done, understand what it means when the customer defers and when the advisor defers, understand all these metrics, and then you'll be more successful faster.
My name is Jesse Gray from Toyota Las Vegas, and to be honest, we had an issue with buying it first because nobody wanted to. They thought that it was going to be harder than usual, it was going to take time out, and then they realized as time went on, it actually went by way faster. They started engaging in it, they started having fun with it, and essentially the problem at first was just trying to get them to understand the bigger picture and the entire customer experience portion of it. But once they got that, it turned out really well.
Good afternoon, my name is Bobby Oberweis, Keith Lexus. I've been with the industry for about 12 years. We started with the iPad. However, the biggest challenge was asking the question. It was a very simple question. Does my team understand the concept of video? What's the return that we're going to get out of it? By explaining the concept of the return that we're going to get out of the video, I got a better feedback from my technicians with metrics, numbers shows how many hours they can plan within each video is different, along with photos, photos. We were able to change things around, and by seeing that, everyone started making more money, obviously more money, more excitement. Obviously, technicians very excited to kind of see a bit of a paycheck. They can support their family, they can go to Disneyland, obviously, and stuff like there. That's the kind of thing to get them to engage in the business. So they can also understand the concept of why they make a decision. They can be part of that.
Well, when it comes to videos, I've always, and I've had a few people mention to me that, like I said, I've said this a few times, but part of my main goal is I want it to where my young daughter, who's 4 years old, and my other daughter, who's 1, when they start driving, that they want to bring their vehicle to a dealership, right? And it's hard for me to see that at times, but I'm glad that what we're doing collectively as an industry is going to make that easier, right? And you mentioned you got to get the buy-in, right? Making it relative to the technicians of, okay, you got a kid. Would your kid like to see this video? Would you like to see the video of your 16-year-old brought their vehicle in for service and they said, hey, they told me this, and you got a video explaining that? Would you like to see that? And those technicians would go, yeah, but I probably wouldn't tell them to go to a dealership, right? Like, come on, guys, we got to get over that hump, right? So, follow-up question to this: quality of videos. It's been, as you mentioned, Scott, a big problem. You can say go do videos, but if they're not doing quality, then there's no point in doing the video in the first place. Have you seen a correlation in behaviors, and I'll ask each of you guys, from your top performing video technicians who are doing really well videos to your low performing? And what are those behaviors or characteristics that you see with both?
You know, in 1970 something, we were trained to walk up to the car, pop the hood, pull out the dipstick, smell it, show it to the customer, open the brake fluid, pull off the air cleaner. We were doing an MPI, we just didn't know it. And I think it's the same principle today, is that video has to be engaging and meaningful to the customer. If you're just talking and rattling off acronyms and measurements, I don't think that gets the customer engaged. I think you need to say, here's your transmission fluid. It looks a little dark, and that could mean there's excessive wear going in transmission. We probably should need to look at that. This is your coolant. It's supposed to be green. It's not green anymore. That means your car's not cooling right. It could overheat. You could blow your head gasket. These are the things that we need to engage like we used to that are meaningful to the customer, and I think that's the most important part.
So for me, I have a relatively young staff, and so they are extremely excited about videos because their entire life has been about recording videos, filming videos, and posting videos, and so they start to compete with each other. And of course, we have a program that obviously incentivizes the best videos that they have, but it's very, very interesting to see how them engaging that and competing against each other is drawing the other ones that were opposed to it to want to do the same thing. So, yeah, I definitely, like I said, meaningful videos definitely matter, but to drive the competition between each other is the best.
You have to gamify it in anything you do at a dealership, right? I've said that. It kind of spreads like a virus when you first start with videos. It's great you've got one or two guys who are really good at it. You've got a bunch of people who are like, yeah, are you going to pay me to do this, right? But then they start realizing that the top guy is making a lot more money. And what did they do different? Because I was kicking their butt before. And now it starts to spread like a virus, right? Everybody starts jumping on board as well. Ollie, what about you?
I have a mix of both young and folks that have been doing this for a long time. I'm very fortunate to be part of their team, obviously. The things that I explained to them, I picked one employee of each. So I got the master, the shop from young guy. We talked about what's the best thing to kind of deliver to the client, what the client will expect from the videos more forward. And we talked about TikTok. Everyone obviously watching TikTok and how clients now tap to this 1 minute video. So we kind of shortened that 3 minutes to 1 minute. And we looked into what's important to the client as far as filters dirty, looking at their tires, the license plate, or whatever we're selling them as far as the product. This is what we're doing. And kind of get that honesty and get them to see what actually happening behind the scenes. That delivered a lot of great feedback from customers. I have a lot of clients walking into my office thanking me for it, especially the first and second visit that we get, or first and second service that we do deliver for North Park. And the client's getting those now the expectation has been set. The key is to not just win one month and then the second month needs to be consistent long term. So that way, if my client goes to a different dealership, hopefully the other dealership is failing with that and they come back to me. That's the key. We just have to not compete with others. We just have to be our best, and that's the mentality my team have at what we do, and let everyone else compete in a way. Like what the store is doing for them to pay their client back. And the numbers never lie. I like to simplify things as well. So 1 plus 1 equal 2. It's really simple math. All my employees doesn't understand that. Therefore, simplify, you get customer back. It's an easy language to everybody. So there's no confusion on what's to expect from the part. There's no like I'm lying to you, I'm hiding things from you. Everything you have right there, then you hire the right people. As we talked, I don't hire anyone from restaurants. However, I hire people with experience, and I like people that empathize. If you empathize and understand, this could be my mom's part, sister part, or your dad. That will help the process and kind of be that transparent with the clients. And this will get the customer back. I will share a little story about my sister got a Toyota, went to Claremont Toyota. So the car is still there with the recall. He sent me, you guys sent her the MPI, you sent it right to me. Ali, what do you think? Is it a lot of money? Is it like, I'm scared. It's just a lot of things. And I looked at it, I was like, no, everything's legit, the numbers are correct, they're honest. And that was the thing I told her, they're honest. And that itself, I brought to the meeting with my team, I said, customers will do the same thing. They will send it to the brother, to the father, depends on who's in this industry. Last thing I want to say, we're lying, or we're overpriced in a way, and we'll lose that client for it. That's the main focus, is how we can be honest and be consistent, efficient, and every minute make a huge difference in our store. I'll leave it with that. This year we're going with 2 million over what we need to do to hit just by fixing the vacant floor.
I love that.
That's just numbers. I read them every day. I see them, makes me smile, make my wallet bigger, and all my employees.
So there's a statistic I put out there. The Consumer Federation of America each year does a study across all industries, and they rank complaints and which industries have the top complaints. And one thing that I guess we can hold the trophy high is automotive for 9 years straight is the #1 industry for consumer complaints. Like you said, you want to be honest, right? That's the first thing. The 3 misconceptions is dealers take too long, they are liars and they're not going to recommend it right, they cost too much money, right? But I love that story because I think it's an amazing story, because especially if we can support each other in the industry, because what that's going to do is it's going to change the mindset of the overall customer and make all of our lives better, right? Compete against yourself, and if you see something honest with your family that comes in, yeah, they did it right. And the cool part is you got to see them use an update promise lawyer ACAM. That's the same tool we do. They all do that, right? So that was cool. Good. So big complaints we hear from technicians all the time is, are you going to pay me to do this video? Like, just have a conversation with someone. It takes too long. I'm not used to this process. And it's going to take too much time. I should be out there turning wrenches. I shouldn't be, showboat and making videos. I'm not a TikTok star. How have you guys overcome that? And if it does take a little bit longer, have you seen, even though it's taking a little bit more time out of them, you're getting a result from that?
So, yeah, that question, am I getting paid for it? The answer is yes. More videos, the more hours you get done. You get the video right, the phone is there, your advisor will sell, your part departments will put the right parts, and the more sales we do, we'll back and sell. The more hours you get, that's a race. So, if you're not, then you're figure it out. The trade will move with you without really, I keep it to the fact. Either they want to be with us as we proceed with success, or they're going to just let us perform.
For me, I would say at least when SmartPath and Big Promise first came on, we started to have a little bit of an issue with some of the older techs. But to be completely honest, the support came from Big Promise and from SmartPath, they really, really bought in and got excited about it. And to be honest, it just develops a better shop culture. And that shop culture just consistently grows and grows and grows. And then it creates not necessarily just a competitive environment, but an environment that people like to come work in, which ultimately is the most important thing. If you have people that are happy to come to work, the money will come. They just want to be able to do, their job to the best of their ability. So,
Yep.
unfortunate part of our business is dealing with people who don't want to do what you want them to do. And we can mathematically link how much we close and how much we sell, what our percentages are based upon how many MPIs get open, how many get viewed, how many videos are sent. We can see every one at a time you should click one of those boxes, our closing percentage goes up. If you look at each transaction individually, it's a no-brainer. We had an employee said, I don't need to do this. It's a diagnosis for an air conditioner, why do I need to do an MPI, you know? And, well, he doesn't work for us anymore, and that was a decision that he made ultimately, but my point is, when he made that decision, that one guy, everybody else in the shop's ears went straight up, and all of a sudden we were getting what we wanted. Unfortunate part of our business, but true. It's not for everybody, but this is what we're going to do, and if you don't want to be part of the deal, then don't be part of the deal.
You know, you said that a lot more elegant than most probably do, but it's true. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we're so afraid. I think it's a hard balance in the industry that we see. Yeah, we've been talking for many years, we're at a technician shortage, we're at a technician shortage, we're at a technician shortage. So how much do you push it, right? We have the same business on the software side. As I know a lot of the vendors who run software here, it's like our developers are hard. How hard do you want to push them? Because they're the heart of what we're building. The thing is, industry's shifting, and I'm seeing it in the last 3-4 years where, great, you don't want to do it? Go next door. The store next door is doing it. Doesn't matter where you go. And the customer expects it, right? So that goes to my follow-up question. And Ollie, I know you had briefly mentioned it, but what have you guys seen from customers? Like, what's the feedback that you're getting from customers, whether it's a first-time customer or a returning customer, and how has that affected how you hold your team accountable to it?
So for me, I do follow up. I have 10 customers have called me. So I call up like 10 customers once a week just to follow up, see if they received it. Two, if they understand that what they received. And if my advisor have follow up by a phone call and kind of explain to them that received. Out of 10, I get 8 yeses, 2 like they haven't gotten follow up, which is very understandable. 8%, it's something for me, it's a very much a win. But still, what can we do to get that 20% up there? The reality is we can't. And I'm okay with that. 80% is a really high percentage. Clients are very satisfied with the return of that. And also they feel very happy that I go. Oh my God, I never got it. So this is kind of full circle. I got to lead by example. You know, you mentioned earlier partnership. You know, I work with most of They Promise and, you know, Steve, and Tyler. Like, they know the style I lead and the style of what I'm looking for. And I'm very harsh when it's come to partners. But when it's come to my team, I shift all that things in order for me to deliver the softest way to them so they can understand the business concept of it and they will do better delivery to the clients. Therefore, we get the best CSI at the store. We got a turnaround and the comments on my CSI is on how they love the process. I mean, they're not here to rub me up, like, because we sold the greens. We're very focused on the greens. We always sell the greens. First 3 services, there's really not much that can be done besides the alignment on the 15,000, but other than that, we're on it. So we sell those greens to get that retention on 20,000. Hopefully we can start making those money, and then that tire's not might be needed at this point, brakes and whatever that could be at the time. So we're trying to get that relationship with the clients. The clients are understanding the concept of the business, and another things I work with the advisor is telling them, they expect, like when they expect check-in process. Part of their selling is to let the customer know that they will receive a text message, and that text message will include the FPI, which is the health inspection, and they will get a follow-up call 10 to 15 minutes after. So setting that expectation and training the customer to the product is the key to that. We're now looking into selling the hours as of today, but I'm also looking at 6 months from now. Let this customer, hey, this is caution. Don't worry about it. It's not a lot of money. as of right now, but prepare your wallet for the next visit because I will take the money. And that's the key, is getting the customer prepared to spend. No one likes a surprise bill unless you go to Disneyland and everything's expensive and you be like, broke. So we don't want to have the customer feel that feeling, so we're trying to avoid it by explaining to them that how important is it for them to be prepared. Therefore, they trust us and hopefully they come back to us. And if they try somewhere else and call around or they ask ChatGPT, we're like aligned with their answers as far as the pricing goes and honesty and the numbers. So they will have more faith in us just by looking around the shop, looking into it. Earlier, they talked about pricing and online pricing. Another thing with Update Promise, I deeply looked into my, I call it the showroom, online showroom, my website. What's my website is doing versus what my technicians deliver. So it is one of my biggest things that we dealt with in the beginning when we launched the videos and we went excessive into it, and it backfired on us big time. We pretty much honored a lot of pricing changes that we, as a store, we did not made a lot of margin in the first month, but that feedback from the client got us to fix that issue, and now everything's aligned with what we need. So, and overall, I see a great result.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Training the customer is the best avenue for this. In my demographics, specifically, they were extremely excited to see digital APIs because they were not getting them at all at any of the dealerships around us. It is, 100% imperative though, being able to train the customer going to do it. Then they can smooth stuff in the glove box and the reference later on. And yeah, it definitely has helped with our overall sales.
Statistically, we've seen when the customer views it, you're 30 to 40% higher on your closed dollars per repair order, just by the customer viewing it. So it's like, great, let's get the technicians to do it, but if they don't view it, then we just wasted all of our time, right? So coaching them ahead of time, I couldn't agree more, is one of the most crucial part of implementing videos, is prepping the customer on what to expect. Because they'll get a text message, you go, yeah, whatever, and they'll go off to the side. I think what's also crucial is the moment you open up that RO, tell them their phone just vibrated, right? Have them pull it up right there, because now you're getting them used to glove box or whatever they're using to view that video. So, what about you, Scott? Have you heard good feedback from customers?
Actually, interesting similarities. One of the common objections in the beginning when someone was low on MPIs opened was, well, I have a lot of waiters. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go, rather than going into the waiting room and saying you need breaks and it'll be this much, you need this, and you need this much. Once you go there, have them open their phone, look at the photos, look at the support behind it, and all of a sudden, Express Text could make money instead of just do oil changes. And it's just really about the customer engagement. And the number went up, of course, because now the customers are opening it, and then we open it, oh, I didn't know it would do this. And so it's important. Waiters are an issue, a common excuse, but just go to them and have them open the app right in front of them, do it with them.
I think that goes to training the customer for the next visit as well.
Waiters are commonly like the biggest issue for any dealer. For our store, the way we did it is all our MPIs get done within the first 15 and then get sent to park, obviously. And we have a meeting with park departments to what can we do to get it sit in there for like 5 to 10 minutes at max. And that will give us about 25 minutes of process and the advisor expectation to be sent to the client within 15 minutes. So we're looking already into 35 to 40 minutes just right there. So the faster we get that process, the better results we get with the waiters. So that's been doing great for us, obviously. And along with the advisors, I have a backup, one of my driver assistants pretty much look into those MPI. And if the thing went more than 50 minutes, he will tap the advisor if you need help. Like so, send it to the client, so that way everyone's aligned on the project. The faster we send it, the better we get results. And I have seen it, again, like we're pushing for 2 million plus, so that's one of the reasons by fixing that issue. So I think getting the guy first was one of the things that was really hard to get the technician to do, because some of them don't like it.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge, but we went through it.
Well, I think it goes to Kaylee's overview about parts as well. You mentioned showing the parts department what it looks like from a customer's perspective when they get that video, you get the estimate with the pricing, makes them go, oh, so that's where my part plays in, right? Because oftentimes, and I think we heard one store, it's like they take the video and it goes directly out to the customer, which very few stores can do that successfully, right? Because you gotta make sure that pricing is set up correctly. It could lead to more phone calls. If you do it right, it ends up positive. But if you're running it through the parts department, you can't get your parts department to buy in really quickly to your time element, then show them what the customer's gonna see. Because if I send it out and that's wrong, guess who that's on? That's on you, right? And the quicker they get the response, the easier their lives are gonna be, right? So, well, as we wrap up here, last question I'm gonna ask each of you guys to jump in. Based off your experiences, your wins, your losses of implementing video, photo in the drive, what's your one takeaway you would give to a manager who's maybe struggling or just starting to implement this in their store? I'll start with you, Scott.
Well, it's kind of the same answer as the first question, but I think you really need to prepare. You can't just say, I'm going to turn it on. You have to think about what you're going to say, how you're going to present it, what it's going to look like. Do dry runs, do dry videos. We used to do that in the sales end of it all the time. We would do dummy finance interactions and then film them and play them back to our employees. And people, when they look in the mirror, that means something. And they learn, but yeah, prepare. Just don't turn it on. It doesn't work that way. You really have to walk through the whole process and spend significant time preparing your staff for what's about to happen. I think too much technology just comes and goes in and out of dealerships, gets turned on, and we don't even know it's there half the time. And I think that's a huge problem.
I would say the same thing, just be prepared for it and be excited about it, because obviously your staff will be excited if you were. Do the same thing, we had tech, like I said, tech competition videos for the week, and then we would show them during one of our tech meetings that week, and whoever won, we obviously spiffed them or gave them some type of compensation for it, and it just drives a really, really good atmosphere.
Would you say that spiff that you gave them in those competitions led them to utilize more and want to do more?
100%, they realized there was an award for it.
If you don't mind sharing, was your spiff a lot of money? Okay, so it was a lot of money, all right. The reason I asked, we've seen stores where it's like, it could be a small amount, but now you've got people who are like, oh yeah, look at my video, right? And then what you should do too is play the bad video. Put them on blast. I always do that with stores. It's like, okay, here's one video that's really good, but let me show you your worst video. And then they'll go, oh, Joe, why did you do that? Blah, 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 you need to figure it out. Well, they don't want to be on the bottom of that leaderboard anymore, right? That's great.
The biggest challenges for me was me understanding the product itself, and that's what comes with partnership with Update Farms. Like they went above and beyond explaining the product, and therefore we did some training for the team, getting prepared for all those information, and not just the videos, but obviously it's a new system for them to use. But I'm a big fan of why we're using this product and explaining the reason why we're heading that direction. But better explanation to them, the better result we get overall. As I always tell them, we don't have web manager there. We have many of us running the show. All my employees are up to date with what needs to be as far as number goes and what it needs to be done. But the process itself, it was the challenging part. Letting everyone in the same room and getting their thoughts before launching that, it was a key to our success. I haven't seen, I can't tell you about a failing things that we went through the process, except the pricing issues that we have. Other than that, the team was focused, knew exactly what we're heading and why we're heading that direction, and everyone started standing on their feet. And along with that, I did my competition was a little bit different. So what I did is I built 4 teams, put them on a competition, and each team will get pretty much spiffs based on photos and videos taken with the percentages that I'm putting as the expectation with the return of sale. How much actually we're selling out of that. So that's extra step that I took. That motivated the technician to go actually ask the advisor, why are you not selling it? So by creating that challenge, March was a very success. That's all I can tell you. I paid a lot of money, close to $10,000, but I got almost 150 back. So it's a good money. I risked it. I didn't know what the result was going to look like, but I'm glad I did, and I'm going for the second month in a row. April, I'm running 35% ahead of the game. So it's working. The Swift works, but this time I went lower than amount of money because I wanted to get used to that.
Well, the team challenge, I think, is such a crucial item. Because like you said, now they're holding each other accountable. It's not just me and what I do, but if so-and-so's dragging me down, I'm going to point that out and make sure I get better, right? So, awesome. You guys did a phenomenal job up here. Thank you for taking the time.